Is your heart rate spiking every time that you run? It is so frustrating when you're trying to focus on your pace, your effort and your heart rate all at once, especially if you're new to heart rate training. And it can feel overwhelming and make you think, what on earth am I doing wrong? Don't worry, because in this video, I'm going to give you 12 fixes to keep your heart rate down when you're running. And we'll start off with the fixes that will give you the most immediate effect. Hi, it's Ryan from Unstoppable, where we help you run smarter, faster and injury-free no matter where you're starting. The first immediate fix to lower your heart rate is to slow down your pace. When you're out running, it is so tempting to push yourself, but I guarantee this is one of the things that we're pushing your heart rate into overdrive right now. 80% of the runs throughout the week should be slow, and these slower runs are great for allowing your body to relax and also find your flow. If you've had a busy, stressful day with work, this is your time to just be with yourself, switch off, let your mind wander, and also enjoy where you're running, if the views are nice, of course. So make the most of these slower runs. Now, you might feel hesitant about slowing your runs down, especially if you're someone who loves pushing themselves and progressing all of the time. And I get it, because I literally am this person, always chasing faster times, fearing that slowing down meant losing my fitness. But here's the thing, if your goal is to become a stronger, fitter, faster runner, and you want to avoid injuries, slowing down is essential. Think of this a little bit like your car engine. If you're constantly revving it, constantly going fast, the wear and tear on the car builds up faster, doesn't it? It's exactly the same with you when you're running. Slowing down means that you can perform better and avoid injuries in the long term. Here's some ways you can slow down your pacing to keep your heart rate down. Firstly, use a heart rate monitor. A heart rate monitor can help you stay within your target zones for your easy runs. This gives you clear, objective feedback, helping you prevent going too fast. I'd also combine this with looking at your running watch too. I have a Garmin Forerunner, and I used to be the person that would go out for a run and not check my paces or my heart rate. And when I did check, I realized I was running way too fast for certain runs, and I've slowed it right down so that I'm working in the right zones, and it will feel a bit like you're almost doing a fast walk, but it works. You can also practice the talk test when you're running. This is great if you don't have a running watch. Just run at a pace where you can comfortably hold a conversation. If you can't speak in full sentences, slow down, because you're probably pushing too hard. The second thing that will fix your high heart rate is to run in cooler temperatures. The temperature outside has a massive impact on how your body performs during a run. Running in the heat forces your body to work double time. Your body is trying to cool itself down, which makes your heart rate increase. On the flip side, when the air is cool, your body doesn't need to work as hard to regulate your temperature, which keeps your heart rate at a more manageable level, making each step feel easier. If you're watching this video and this is you right now, try scheduling your runs during early morning or later in the evening when the temperatures are usually lower for most people. You'll not only feel the difference in how much easier it is to maintain a lower heart rate, but you might also find that these times are a little bit more peaceful too. The third thing that you can do to keep your heart rate lower when you're running is to focus more on your hydration. When you're dehydrated, your blood is thicker, and this forces your heart rate to pump harder to get oxygen and nutrients to your muscles. Think of this a little bit like passing jelly through a pipe. It's going to require more effort to pass through compared to water, isn't it? This is exactly what it's like in your body when you're dehydrated. Even if you're running at a relaxed, slower pace, if you're not hydrated, you will find your heart rate is higher than usual. Here's what you can do here. Make a habit of hydrating before you head out. Drinking water 15 to 30 minutes before you run can really help. Be careful not to overdo this though, especially if you are running longer distances, because you can end up needing the toilet halfway through. You could also carry a small water bottle with you so that you can take sips during your run, especially if it's warm outside. You can get those running backpacks where you can keep a bottle in the front of your pocket so that you can easily get to it too, and I've put a link to one of these in the description below too. Also, just drink water regularly throughout the day. Keep a water bottle with you at all times, on your desk, wherever you are, keep it with you. If it's in sight, you are going to be way more likely to drink it. Hydration, it isn't just the water that you drink either, it's in the foods that you eat. If you add fruits and veggies into your diet, that's going to help here too. Things like watermelons, cucumbers and oranges are all really good places to start. Something else that can help to keep your heart rate down when you're running is some different breathing techniques. If you get a few kilometers into your runs and you're struggling to catch your breath, this is for you. Breathing techniques help to activate the parasympathetic sympathetic nervous system, which is the part of your body that is responsible for calming things down. And if you calm this down, you can lower your heart rate and manage this better. If you are doing your longer, slower runs, you can focus on breathing deeply through your nose, focusing on filling your belly. Hold it for a second and then breathe out of your mouth slowly. This can help to calm you down when you're running. Obviously, if you're doing a tempo, an interval, or a threshold run, you holding your breath is definitely not going to be realistic. If you want to bring your heart rate down for these types of runs, you can focus on something called rhythmic breathing. This is where you coordinate your breath with your running steps, like a 3-to-2 ratio. So inhale for 3 steps and then exhale for 2. You might need a different ratio. I'm typically a 2-to-2 ratio, but try this and find what's going to work for you. How's your stress levels right now? When stress builds up, your body releases a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol elevates your heart rate and it puts your nervous system in a constant state of alert. This makes it so much harder to bring your heart rate down when you're running. Here's a few ways that you can de-stress, apart from the obvious one being running. Firstly, a daily meditation practice. 10 to 15 minutes each day can make all of the difference. I do a Tony Robbins priming practice, which is on YouTube and is free, and I'll put a link to this in the description. It's brilliant, highly recommend. There's something else that I use when I want to calm down, which is a breathing technique called the 4-7-8. You don't do this when you're running though, but I actually want to do this with you guys now so that you can see how this changes your state instantaneously. Okay, so breathe in through the nose for 4 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold this for 7 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now gently breathe out the mouth for 8 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I want you to repeat this 4 times. Okay, now you've done that 4 times, how do you feel? Let us know if you've noticed that you felt better in the comments below. Another immediate fix is to improve your running posture and your form. How you hold yourself when you're running has a direct impact on your heart rate. If you're slouching or leaning too far forward, you are going to have to work harder to essentially not fall over when you're running. And that means your heart will have to work harder. The first step to changing this is to become aware of your run form and also your posture. Best thing that you can do here is video yourself and watch it back. You think that you're running like Kipchoge, but you might be running like this guy. Here's how you can improve your posture and your run form. Think about standing tall, engaging your core and keeping your spine straight. To engage your core, I like to think about bracing myself as if somebody's about to punch me in the stomach. Also, imagine that somebody is pulling a piece of string from the top of your head. It will keep your spine nice and straight, it will help you to stand tall and maintain good running posture throughout. If you do this, you will be that runner that people are jealous of, that runner that makes it all look so effortless. Also, if you do want to dive deeper into how you can improve your run form, there's a video that we've done that's appearing here now, so definitely go and check that one out. When it comes to keeping your heart rate under control, increasing your cadence will be an absolute game changer. Cadence is simply the number of steps that you take per minute, and by gradually upping this number, you shift to taking shorter, quicker steps. This might seem like a really small tweak, but it has a huge impact on your running efficiency and also your heart rate. Shorter, quicker steps mean that your feet spend less time on the ground, which reduces the impact with each stride, which means your body uses less energy and also effort, and less effort means less work that your heart has to do. Now, this isn't an overnight fix, but with time, this will help to keep your heart rate down, and you will be able to maintain a comfortable heart rate at faster speeds the more that you work on this. How can you increase your cadence? First, you need to see where your current cadence is at, and there's 2 ways that you can do this. The first way is to count how many steps that you're taking each minute. The second way is to use your fitness watch to get some data on your cadence. Then from here, aim to increase this by 5 to 10%. Using a metronome app or music with the right beat can help to increase your cadence. Now, if you go onto Spotify, they actually do playlists at certain tempos, which can really help with this. If you type in something like 180 BPM, you'll find loads of different playlists that you can use here. The idea here is to focus on keeping a light, quick rhythm as you run, and to not necessarily speed up during your runs. And this will feel awkward at first because you will just want to run fast, but stick with it, you will adapt, and as your cadence improves, you will notice that your heart rate is staying more stable. And finally, try doing some cadence drills when you're actually running. So when you're going out for your next run, try doing some short intervals of high cadence running. Try 30-second bursts where you concentrate solely on quick, light steps without speeding up. Now, if you've got a Garmin, you can actually set this up in the app too. If your heart rate is higher than you'd like right now, you may need to build more of a solid aerobic base. This is the foundation for for all of your run training. The goal here is to condition your body to become more efficient at using oxygen. Once you become more efficient at using oxygen, you can run longer distances without spiking your heart rate. To build a solid aerobic base, aim to do 80% of your runs at an easy conversational pace, which is around zones 1 and 2, and that is around 60 to 70% of your maximum heart rate. And your maximum heart rate is around 220 minus your age. And then that leaves you with only 20% at those higher intensity runs. If you do need to build a more solid aerobic base too, long runs should be a key part of your training plan. With your long runs, gradually build up the duration of your longest run each week, making it around 20 to 30% of your total weekly mileage that you are doing. If your heart rate feels high right now, have you thought about alternating between fast walking and slow running? This is one way to help your body adapt without overstressing your cardiovascular system. This training is a little bit like building a bridge that gets you from one side to the other, helping your heart rate adjust gradually. Start with manageable intervals, try a few minutes of brisk walking, followed by a minute or two of slow jogging. This way, you're not overwhelming your heart and your body, but instead you're giving them a chance to adapt to the increased demands. As you get more comfortable, extend the time that you're jogging for while shortening the time that you're walking for. What do you do before you head out on a road trip? You fill up the car with fuel, right? Otherwise, you're not going to get very far. This is how to think about you before going on your runs too. So something else for you to think about is fueling properly around your runs, because if you don't get this right, you won't have the energy to run or perform at your best. And similar to when you're dehydrated, your heart is going to be working overtime to keep you running. To avoid this, go for whole foods like oatmeal or porridge topped with fruit, a banana with some nut butter, or whole grain toast with avocado or banana. Eat these kinds of foods around 2 to 3 hours before you plan to run. If you are running early in the morning and you don't have time for a full meal, go for something that's quick, light and easily digestible. This used to be me. I was getting up and within 15 minutes I was outside running. A few of the things that worked for me here were bananas and also those Rice Krispies square bars. I'd say here go for more carby options over things with fat in them because it's less effort to digest. The key though is finding what's going to work for you. I'm fine with a little bit of fruit, but you might find that you need a little bit more or something different. Are you getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night? This really is the foundation of your health and also your performance. When you don't get enough good quality sleep, your body releases more of the stress hormone, cortisol, which can spike your heart rate. On the flip side, if you get enough sleep, less cortisol, less stress, you will have a lower heart rate. And this is going to make your runs so much easier and easier for you to maintain that lower heart rate. Here's a few ways that you can get 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night. Establish a consistent sleep schedule. Our bodies love routine. Wake up at the same time every single morning. Also, keep your room cool, dark and quiet. To keep your room cool, it should be around 18 degrees, which is around 65 degrees Fahrenheit. To achieve this, you could leave the window on the latch if it's warm, you could close it if it's cold. To keep your room dark, you could invest in some blackout blinds and also wearing an eye mask. To keep it quiet, you can wear earplugs to bed, and I put the ones that I use every single night in the description as well. You could also get rid of your partner and also your kids. Also, avoid all screens at least 1 hour before you plan to go to sleep, as the blue light will make you feel awake and alert. Don't drink caffeine past midday as well, because this stays in your system for a long time. Give your body enough time to get it all out. As a runner, are you regularly strength training? Did you know that this could be a reason why your heart rate is high when you're running? Strength training will strengthen your heart. This allows you to pump more blood with each beat. This means that your heart doesn't have to work as hard to get the same amount of oxygen to your working muscles. The result? Lower heart rates during your runs. And you can run faster without getting tired because you're basically fitter. When it comes to strength training, you should be training your whole body. Exercises like squats, lunges, core exercises, rowing and pressing movements will train most of your body. I do 3 full body strength training sessions with a blend of strength, power and also muscle building work every single week, and I'd recommend that you do the same. Most runners don't do this, and you can tell because they're getting injured all of the time. When you strength train, you are making your body way more resilient to cope with the demands of running. If you are struggling with keeping your heart rate down, there is a good chance that it's affecting your overall speed too. A lot of runners unknowingly make these 5 mistakes that slow them down over time. So you're going to want to watch this video that's appearing here now.